Well, hello. Hi, how is everyone? What's going on? Here we are again together. We are all awakened. We are ascending to another timeline. We are leaving the three-dimensional world, the simulation, the illusion, what we've all known. It's kind of a breath of fresh air that's headed towards us. I got a chance to be outside today because I was running around in my job in the Matrix, and I got to spend some time outside, and I felt the sunlight coming down on me. And I'm Mary Amy, and this is Living in the Light, and I'm very close to New York City. I'm in New York. Where are you coming from? Anyone who's joining us, I hope you like the video and subscribe to the channel. I have so much to get into tonight. I realized I went down that rabbit hole again. Oh my gosh, more and more and more. And I said, I have to share this and I have to share that. And so here we are. It's January 18th. Oh my gosh, here we are. We're almost all the way through January, and it's Wednesday in the Matrix work week. And we have tomorrow's Thursday and then Friday, woo-hoo-hoo, and then we have the weekend. I hope everyone's having a wonderful day in this January. We're at the end of the Mercury in retrograde, which means we can sign contracts and we will experience more flow going on. When we're in Mercury in retrograde, it seems like everything's a little off. We are not quite so sure of ourselves. We feel like we're in a waiting period of time. And it's also not a good time to sign contracts or make commitments. And Mercury in retrograde was all about, hey, Elsa, you're making all kinds of noise over there. What are you doing? Mercury in retrograde was all about love, relationships, and leadership. I don't know if you're aware of that. So today, Living in the Light, we're going to cover topics like forewarning of events and announcements, steps out of the simulation, trust yourself, and fortune awaits. Of course, we'll touch on psychic phenomenon and angels. Now, I'm reminding you, as always, do you remember your dreams last night? It's highly imperative that you write them down because there are signs and symbols. Elsa, what are you doing over there? Hi. Elsa needs a grooming. She looks like a big fluffy dog. Do you see her? Elsa, come here. You want to say hi? You're very, very excited today. Come here. You want to say hi to everybody? There she is. There's Elsa. She's 9 years old. Look at her. I took her down to the boardwalk today, and she got to bark at other dogs. That's what she does. And then when they come to her, she kind of backs off. All right, so your dreams. Do you remember your dreams last night? Were there signs? Were there messages? Was there something that you're not taking care of in your waking life that you have to discover about yourself and identify why you're sleeping? Have you had any psychic attacks? There is a spiritual war that we are in the middle of, and it's almost over. And here's a little example of what it's like. We have the warrior, divine warrior, an angel fighting off evil. And that's kind of what it feels like right now in this physical reality. Now, I've been sharing with you, it's kind of time that we just turn inward, because all of this out here is a distraction. What you have, what you look like, what you do. And it's all a distraction, and it takes you away from what's really, really important, the gold. You have the gold within you. Your DNA is like gold. And if you continue to be distracted by what's going out there, and I know you can't help it. It's like watching a car crash. There's so much going on, positive and negative. I mean, there's a lot of good things happening, but then there's some really not so good things happening, and we can be distracted and take ourselves off our journey, off our pathway. You have your own destiny and purpose that you're here to fulfill. Now, as your memories come back, because the more you turn inward, accept yourself, love yourself, forgive yourself, all the parts of you, even the stuff that you're not so proud of. You don't want to look at it. You're kind of hiding it. And then when you hide it and you push it away, it's creating another level of like junk inside of you. You want to go down there and look at everything that's within you, even if it troubles you, even if it's painful, because you know what? It's an emotion. It's not concrete. It's not concrete like this desk right here in front of me. It's emotional. You can only hurt yourself. It's about giving consent. It's about if someone asks you to do something, it's entirely up to you. If you give consent, you're kind of giving away your power sometimes. So let's be really aware of what we're saying yes to and who we're saying yes to. And do they have a good intention for you, which is a commitment to do your best and a commitment for them to do their best? Do they have integrity? Do they have good character? Are they honest, trustworthy? Those are the beings out there that you should associate yourself with. If you sense that it's someone who, a little shifty stuff, maybe stand back and not involve yourself too deeply with them, because it might take you down, 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 down. All right, so it's dreams, what your intention was, what was your first thought of the day? Are you sitting there? We spoke about detoxing and getting off of our technology and our electronics. And do you wake up every morning and you go right to your phone, and is that helping you? Because it's actually, there's frequencies that you're receiving from your phone, from your computer. I was in the Matrix today at that job of mine. I managed this store in the Matrix. And let me tell you, it's all about these emails. It's all about this texting. It's all about, shuffling appointments around, et cetera, et cetera. And it's so hard and difficult for me to stay away from electronics, and it kind of gives me a headache. And I feel as though my system is depleted. So here I am, and I'm probably going to get a good night's sleep tonight because I'm going to need it, because I'm tired from that job in the Matrix. I would rather much be doing this all day long. So let's get into it. Forewarning of events to come and some announcements. What exactly is that? Well, here we've had some warning signs, haven't we, about what's to come? What is going to become? We are being alerted right now. Now, you can turn away and say, oh, that's silliness. Or you can really pay attention right now, because your mind and your spirit, if you're awakened, if you're clear, if you're really touching on your intuitive abilities, your clear senses, you will know what I'm saying is accurate. You will know that you have within you the ability to kind of predict what's going to happen. Now, you can predict big, huge events, and you can predict minor events like, oh, this is going to happen to me today. Someone's going to walk over to me and offer me part of, a cookie, whatever it is, something minor, I'm trying to say. Or a big event, you might be someone that's receiving impressions, and it might be something that's historical, or an event that's not even taking place within your vicinity. Or it might be, you might be forewarned of an event, something that's going to happen to a person that's close to you, a family member, a friend, and you receive that information. What I'm trying to convey to you is that we are all receiving the same information I am. It's not like I'm, this gifted intuitive. You are as well. You can figure it out. Anyone who's joining us, I hope you can write in the chat and tell me where you're coming from. And I hope you like the video and subscribe to the channel. So we've been alerted, and I'm going to give you some examples of that, and then you're going to kind of follow with me, and we are going to go down a bit of a rabbit hole. However, there is an end to what I'm going to share with you. Now, with a red exclamation point, we have been alerted. Yes, we have. And that's why I'm wearing the color red tonight, because we've been alerted about what's going to happen. If we are paying attention, I've said to you, disclosure, 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 disclosure. It's going to be this long, the disclosure, pretty soon. It's going to be like, whoa, like miles and miles of disclosure. And I say that I'm joking a little bit, but I'm sad. I'm very sad, because the more I'm hearing, I can't take it. Some of what I'm hearing, I can't fathom, and I'm hoping that it's inaccurate. So in advance, we must stay cautioned. We must stay cautioned, not out of fear. I'm not saying, is our future unpleasant? Not if you don't give away your power, your consent, your energy. your spirit, your soul, your love. Resistance to anything dark will prevent you from personal failures, illnesses, and manipulation. What I mean by dark, you know what I mean by dark. We've spoken about dark. We know what dark is. Everyone, there's dark and then there's light. So dark is dark forces, toxic situations. Maybe it comes through evil. We can take it to an extreme of evil. Maybe it's something demonic. Dark would be negativity, hate, meanness, crimes, that kind of thing. Lawlessness. That's a very good term to say, lawlessness. So there is a forewarning of events. There's early warnings that have begun, and I'm going to share those with you. Now, I don't know if you remember going back to, let's see, when did it happen? Was it in June? June. When did it happen? Well, anyway, I'll get to what happened exactly. Has anyone heard about the Georgia Guidestones? Well, the Georgia Guidestones stood since 1980, and they lasted till 2022, and it was June 2022. So there were these till July 6th of 2022 they lasted. So that's quite a bit of time. From 1980 to 2022, these Georgia Guidestones lasted. Now, what were they? Does anyone know? They were 6 granite slabs weighing 237,000 pounds. They stood 19 feet and 3 inches tall. So they were these humongous granite slabs. They were called American Stonehenge. Well, I don't think I believe that quite so much, because when I share with you what they were, you're going to say, I might agree with you, Mary. So Robert, allegedly, they said it was inspired, and it was claimed that this person named Robert C. Christian in 1979 came up with this concept to build these Georgia Guidestones. I'm going down a rabbit hole with this, but stay with me. So he said he was representing loyal Americans. He said it was also going to be a function of a compass, a calendar, and a clock. That was ridiculous, that part of it. So his name was Robert C. Christian, American Stonehenge. So he said it was going to be capable of withstanding catastrophic events. He claimed it was Christian religion, and it cost over $100,000. So he purchased this 5-acre piece of property in Elbert County, Georgia. And there was an unveiling of these Guidestones, these Georgia Guidestones. And the master of ceremony said, in order to avoid debate, we, the sponsors of the Georgia Guidestones, have a simple message for human beings now and in the future. We believe our precepts, a precept is a general rule intended to regulate behavior or thought, are sound, and they must stand on their own merits. Now, in 1986, Robert Christian, the originator of the Georgia Guidestones, sole author of there was inscriptions on it, and I'm going to tell you what the inscription said. Hey, Bob Hardy, there were messages written, and I'm going to read some of them. Unreadable areas of the stones that are still unknown. I'm going to tell you what they said, some of them. And because there are quite a few, and I'm just going to read a few of them. So, allegedly, they say there was 20,000 visitors a year. Whatever. Now, this is the interesting part. I'm going to look into this after tonight's show. There was a documentary film exposing the true identity of Robert Christian, because maybe really wasn't Robert Christian, in 2015. Now, he spent $100,000 to build these Georgia Guidestones, which were these slabs, and then there's inscriptions on them. And the film is called Dark Clouds Over Elberton, the true story of the Georgia Guidestones. So, 10 guidestones or principles engraved in 8 different languages on them. So, here's the first few. I'm going to share the first few, and then I'm going to tell you what happened with the Georgia Guidestones. And that's why I'm bringing this up, because I believe this is a forewarning, and it's a good forewarning. because everything's getting, uncovered. It's like we're opening up a newspaper and we're getting through it. We're reading till every single bit of it. And that's what's happening right now because the truth is coming out. I always say it always comes out in the wash. I don't know where I got that phrase from, but it always comes out in the wash. So, number one inscription on the Georgia Guidestones were, get this, maintain humanity under 500,000 in perpetual balance with nature. So, basically, the Georgia Guidestones was basically talking about population of only 500,000. 500,000. Aren't we at almost, 8 billion on the globe? So 500,000. So I don't believe that was a Christian. I don't know who this guy was, but I'm going to watch that documentary. 2 was guide reproduction wisely, improving fitness and diversity. Sounds like a lot of control to me, doesn't it? A lot of control there. 3, unite humanity with a living new language. And, there was 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I won't go into that because we'll just, kind of get off our pathway here. So in 2008, someone came along and defaced these Guidestones. So 2008. So how many years ago was that? Someone do the math. And they wrote on it, death of the New World Order. So in 2008, someone was well aware that these were not good, these Georgia Guidestones. And you know what? I believe that there are signs of what's to come. However, you'll find out what happened. So July 6th, the good news is July 6th, 2022, there was an explosion. And I watched the video of the explosion. And there was an explosion and it destroyed and significantly damaged one of the slabs. And so what happened was there was a truck that left the scene. They found no one. They didn't discover who did this. And it was at 4 a.m. The police did some investigation. The remaining stones were dismantled for safety reasons. Yay! There was no evidence of this time capsule that they spoke about. They said there was going to be some time capsule, and they dug deep below the Georgia Guidestones. No time capsule, haha. And it was explained on one tablet. So the aftermath, this bombing, this vehicle left the scene. And initially they said, oh, this is going to get rebuilt. But after some debate, they decided, no, it wouldn't. And they were selling this piece of property back to the farmer who owned it. So there's no rebuilding of the Georgia Guidestones. And that is good news, isn't it? So I'm sharing this with you because I believe this is one of the events that's forewarning what's to come. Now, here we go. I believe if the number one inscription on the Georgia Guidestones was about population being under 500,000, tells me that is of maybe the New World Order, of some kind of totalitarian government idea. Whatever it is, it's a sign, and it was blown up. They blew it up. Initially, they said it was lightning, but then after they watched some videos, somehow there was a video. I don't know if they had some kind of camera watching it. They realized that it was an explosion. Someone blew it up, and that was a good sign. And the fact that it's not getting rebuilt is another good sign. So let's get into some other, events that are showing us evidence of what's to come. Now, I've mentioned over and over again to everyone about the solar flash and the solar flares. And if you look at this Great Awakening map, you can look that up. Go to DuckDuckGo. I don't encourage people to look at Google. I believe that that's a way of watching over everything we do, and then you'll be receiving information about whatever you investigate on Google. Go to DuckDuckGo and look that up. That's another search engine. The solar flash is said to happen starting in 2018 and go 2023 to 2024. Well, here we are. We are in 2023. And we are receiving, and I've been speaking of these solar flares, these solar flashes. And you know what? Maybe instead of one grandiose event like the Carrington event with the white light, the blinding light, that broke down, the telegraph system, we might just be having, mini little solar flares so that we are readying ourselves and we are preparing us slowly. So it's going to be too much for us to handle. Now, I really have been sharing so much to kind of help awaken, but my focus now is not to really try to go, hey, wake up. I'm just going to keep on my mission. And I'll tell you why, because I'm seeing a very strong divide go on. I'm seeing the divide between the three-dimensional, the illusion, and the simulation, and the matrix, and this belief system of all of these structures, and then really this whole other beautiful world that we're creating. And I've kind of taken my focus off, and I have to. I'm being encouraged. I get intuitive messages, and I'm sure you are as well, to stay on your pathway. And if everyone's not listening and they're not following along, we have more power by staying on our pathway than being distracted so much. I will be bringing, topics up that bring awareness, but I'm going to share with you that let's try to stay on our pathway. And anyone who's joining us, I hope you like the video and subscribe to the channel. So the solar flash is going to bring full disclosure and the great awakening. So all of you out there who are already awakened, and you are basically ascending and you feel as though you're not like your normal self, and maybe you're starting to shift, and it's about acceptance right now. I know it seems strange and kind of kooky, and I thought from the beginning when it started happening to me over a year ago, I said, I really don't feel like myself, and it's so odd, and I get these little images at night, these light codes and these visuals, and all of it's a little strange because it's not how we were raised. It's not what we understood to be normal or average. And maybe we aren't supposed to be normal or average. And I'm okay with that. I'm a rebel. I'm a truth seeker. I love a mystery. And I also know what's real and what's not real for me. And I have a good heart. And I think that means so much. So the sun is releasing flashes. And it's taking us from 3D, the three-dimensional, which is very dense and dark. And it's this dark forces like I speak about. And, it's about just a lot of, here we go. Here's just like these angels are carrying this injured woman. That's what's going on right now. We are carrying the injured. We are carrying the injured out of the matrix. And that's what's going to be happening. Good is triumphing over evil. So it's going to be 1,000 years of light. That's what's coming. They say that 1,000 years of light. And the ancient AI will be wiped out after the solar flash. I don't know if you're believing that, but what I'm saying sounds a little hokey, right? The AI. But if you look out there to someone like Elon Musk, who owns now Twitter. We think he owns Twitter. We think he's all about robots. He's all about AIs. He's all about brain chips. He's all about going to Mars and, building these robots that kind of take over, and they have the same desires and dreams as we do. Maybe not. I don't know. But some of them look human. And he's actually in the public eye. So I'm not really saying anything too hokey. Well, I've read and heard that there's this ancient AI who's been trying to force Luciferian, dark forces upon humans and overtake the universe. Now, is there dark forces trying to Hey, Hamana, thanks for joining us. Are there Luciferian forces infesting humans and entities to take over the universe? Maybe demonic humans. I mentioned that. Are there zombie-like beings out there? Does it look like some are zombies? I saw this video not too long ago with Nancy Pelosi. I don't know if you ever saw that. And there was this woman standing next to her. And she was in the government as well. And she had this look on her face and she didn't move. And she was just staring. She didn't blink. She was like a zombie. And zombies are, they say zombies are walking dead, I guess you could say. I think there's that show. There's a show about the some Walking Dead, and that's what a zombie. Are there zombie humans out there? Are we seeing some humans that almost appear like they're zombies, like they have no mind of their own? Are they mind controlled? There's been projects, secret black projects in the government since the 1960s about mind control. And so is there a Luciferian force that's trying to infest humans and take over their DNA? I'm not quite sure, but there is some evidence and some strange goings on. Hey, Alexandra Merrill, thank you for joining us. I hope you like the video and subscribe. You're coming from New York as well, and I'm in New York. Hermanos in Transylvania. Bob Harding. Don't remind me, Bob Harding. Where are you from? Why can't I remember this? My mind goes blank. Don't tell me. I know you're here. I've got to organize myself. Every time I say that, and then I get onto something else after I get off the show, and I get all distracted. Oh, Iowa in the Grand USA. Oh, and Craig. Hey, Craig, you watched my video last night, and you sent me a comment. It's so nice of you. Here you are. I'm enjoying these new perspectives, really opening up to stuff. Thank you. Here we go. Okay, moving forward. Now I know we're going down some rabbit holes. But you know what? When we go down the rabbit holes, we kind of uncover some bizarre events that really don't make sense, but we're kind of piecing them together, aren't we? It's almost like here's the answer, and then someone cut it all up and threw it up in the air, and we're just taking all the pieces that are flying in the air and trying to glue them back together, because we don't know. We don't know what the real plan was. But you know what? We're making up our own plan because we have personal power. And we don't really care what they were trying to devise and mess us up with. Now, is there weather engineering? Here are some more signs of some really strange stuff going on out there. Is there weather engineering? Are they seeding the skies? Are they trying to block the sun? Bill Gates speaks about that. He's like, I think I'm just going to block the sun. What's with that guy? He's buying all the farmland. He's blocking the sun. What's he doing with that farmland? Is he preventing farmers from farming? I don't know what's going on with him. Is he a zombie? Is that a real person? Is someone that evil? He seems a little evil to me. So this weather engineering, I hear that there's chemtrails, that they're shooting stuff out into our skies, and what exactly is that? Do we see these traces of it looks like, what is that? Is that a pilot shooting something out? White trails through the skies? It's not clouds. What exactly is that? And is that for our benefit? Are they just trying to kill us slowly? We probably should be living hundreds of years, but I don't know how we can, because if you walk down through the grocery store, true story, I was looking around and I said, there's a whole aisle of junk. And then I pick up a bag. They don't even deny cloud seeding. No, they don't. I look down and I pick up a bag of this stuff, and it all has all these fabricated names, whatever they are. You know what I'm talking about? They're in these plastic bags. It's so funny. They say, oh, for a while they were like, plastic, don't have plastic straws. We shouldn't have. Everything's wrapped in plastic. I work in a store. Everything's shipped in plastic. There's bags and bags of plastic, but they were worried about plastic straws. It just seems so ridiculous. Read above. They don't even deny cloud seeding. I'm enjoying these new perspectives. Yes. And so, where was I? What they were putting in the food. So I'm walking down through the aisles, and I look at this bag, and I'm like, what exactly is this? Because I have all these food allergies now. Oh, Elsa's running about. And it's saying, GMOs, it's not giving really any kind of understanding. There's a lot of chemical words. It's not very descriptive about food that I've ever heard of. And so that makes me wonder what exactly is in these plastic bags of alleged food. It's a whole aisle of this stuff. I don't know if that's so good for us. And who came up with that idea anyway? Like, why can't they manufacture something? And I was watching commercials over the weekend, and every single commercial had fast food. Now, what's in those fast food burgers? I mean, I know sometimes we taste them and we say, oh, they're yummy, but we never feel full. What is in them? Okay, so here's some more rabbit holes of mystery before we get on to steps out of the simulation. And we're going to get on to some announcements. So the rabbit holes of mystery lie with the bloodlines, the secret societies, the New World Order leaders joining against the common man. Do you feel like you're kind of getting pushed? You're getting kind of pushed. When you see a crowd and then there's the military standing there and they're pushing forward and they're trying to push people back. I saw that during in Canada when they were there was something, I guess it was in the last year, and they were pushing the crowd back. That's what I feel as though you're feeling as though you're getting pushed back by by these New World Order leaders. And let's speak about what's coming up with this Nasara Jasara, the Federal Reserve. Are we going to lose the Federal Reserve? Hallelujah. Hallelujah. And then we might even get to reelect. No, I don't think we should reelect anyone. I don't even think we should have leaders. I believe we are sovereign and we can make our own decisions. We can put on our big boy pants and our big girl pants and we can grow the heck up. Why do we need all of this structure? Can't you figure things out on your own? Don't you have your own free will in your own mind? So these elections, I'm just giving some starting points of all these rabbit holes. The elections, these actors becoming leaders of countries. There are all these actors now. They're reading from the teleprompter. They're dressed also impressively. And they don't look so shabby. I would be shabby if I was a leader. I've shared with you, if I was running around town making sure that everyone was okay, my hair would be sticking straight up. I probably would have food on my clothing. I wouldn't be all impressive and reading from something and always walking around like I was so important. I don't think that's a leader. I think a leader is someone who should be doing everything that everyone else is doing. I don't think a leader should be standing back and be like, they're a false prophet, a false light. Why are we so impressed with these leaders? Who the heck are they anyway? Now, what about all these branches of government? We're realizing, hey, wild, wild west. Yes, we are living in the wild, wild west right now. It's good news, though. This is a forewarning. Now, do you see where I'm going with this information? Where is it taking us? There's a lot of unveiling going on. There's a lot of disclosures. I mean, a year ago, I don't think I would know. If you come look at Twitter and you realize the Twitter files is sharing that the branches of the government, the CIA, the FBI, they were all in cahoots with all the social media. I mean, we guessed Zuckerberg. Now, is he a zombie? Is he a clone? Is he a robot? He's very expressionless. I mean, are these real people that they kind of made a clone, or they're wearing a mask and they just disappeared, the actual person? I don't know. It's fishy. So let's just be aware that all the social media is being directed by the CIA, the FBI, and the branches of government. And why is that? Because it's basically like, there's that story when we're children of Hansel and Gretel. Do you remember that story your mom told you? I don't know if you remember that story. And so Hansel and Gretel were they put out breadcrumbs and they were following the breadcrumbs. And then the witch went after them. Are we following breadcrumbs? Is the FBI and the CIA and the DOD and all of these government officials, are they just putting out breadcrumbs, and they're leading us down like sheep to a slaughter? Are we going to be slaughtered through our social media? Like, oh, look what that says. Oh, ooh, 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 ooh. How do we know that that's even true? You can make all that stuff up, can't you? And then there's those non-players. What are those called? Non-something players. I forget what that's called, but there's non-players where that they're not really people, they're bots, or they're created just to kind of push an agenda or a narrative. And I'm using kind of these buzzwords, and I hate those words. I hate them because it sounds like government words. But I'm just saying that so you understand. Oh, Elsa was eating and drinking. That's what she was doing. Are you coming back to join us, Elsa? I think I'm going to get up and get her. And then there's the medical truths we've been learning about. All these medical truths. And what are they? They're by non-medical representatives like Bill Gates. Last time I looked, I thought he was a computer geek. But somehow he's standing there and he's telling us what to do and what to do with our bodies and how to live. And you know what? I don't know if it's all about that pie in his face. He's just mad at us. Someone said that. Maybe he's just angry because, did you ever see that video where he was walking into some place and someone threw a pie in his face? I'd like to throw a pie in his face. No, that's not right. I do believe, though, him and some others like Dr. Fauci are going to be chased down the street with pitchforks because all of the disclosure is coming out. I'm waiting for the Fauci files on Twitter. Let's see if Elon Musk really follows through and does that. Now, there is this push for control over free will by Big Pharma, forcing us to do something. And that's why I say, do you realize that you don't have to do anything you don't want to? You don't have to. You don't have to be led to slaughter. You're not a sheep. You're a leader. You're a light being. You're a light worker. You're highly advanced. You need to own all of your power. And the more that you accept it, the more that you channel into and turn inward and realize there are so many things going on within you, so many very advanced characteristics that are going to come forward as soon as you realize that. And I'm not just making this up. I'm telling you, it's true. I know this. I swear by it. But don't be led like a sheep to slaughter. And that's what Big Pharma has been trying to do. There's the Monsanto, there's the BlackRock. The BlackRock, I think, is now at this economic forum, this World Economic Forum in Switzerland. And, they're all in cahoots with each other. All this money, if we outlawed money, if we said, money's not important anymore. So what? So what if you're wealthy? You're equal to us. It's all a belief system. We can change the belief system. We don't have to go along with it. Take your focus off all this BS. It's BS. And before we go on to the next subject, I'm going to also bring up the Black Projects, the Aerospace Corporations, 1958 NASA, which was Project Paperclip, which was created by Nazi scientists. They brought them over after World War II. Just go it. Look it up. It's true. I'm not making this up. And then this rush to space, this secret space project, what exactly is going on? Are those UFOs, some of those, they look like a Tic Tac, those Tic Tacs that you eat and they're in this little plastic case. It looks like a large Tic Tac. It's white. And then there are these black triangles and they're moving through our airspace very fast. And their acceleration is very high. And are those UFOs? Are those our secret space projects? Because they're not really telling us the truth about that, are they? They never have. Everything's hidden from us because that's how they control us. Then there's CERN, the CERN portal that they decided to turn back on. They said, we're going to turn back CERN. That's another thing that you can look up on a search engine, CERN. And then there's Project Looking Glass, which is allegedly the Stargate. It's this portal that was created from reverse alien technology, and they could see all the different timelines and the two timelines that I've been speaking about, the three-dimensional, which is the bad timeline. Burp, burp. We don't want that timeline because then guess what? That's where the New World Order comes in and they bully us into doing whatever they want us to do and having an electric car and eating bugs and owning nothing and making all of your money disappear and having it digital. And if you don't do what they want, then they take all away your currency. No, thank you. No, thank you. And then there's all these latest UFO sightings, and they're admitting it. New Air Force planes. Elsa's back. Hey, Elsa, you want to join us? You're back. Woohoo! Elsa's back. She's my co-host. Elsa, you just knocked everything all over the place, didn't you? And what else is there? The UFO sightings, Pizzagate. These are all suggestions, and these are all signs of what's to come. What is to come? And I know you want to know at this point, what is to come, Mary? And I'm going to tell you. UFO sightings, Pizzagate. And then we hear this phrase, groomers and handlers. Groomers and handlers. And all this, all this he, she, they, we. What is that doing? That's taking away people's identity, isn't it? It's also changing everything up, and it's causing chaos and confusion. And it's more bullying. It's more bullying. I'm a girl. I'm a she. I'm a woman. That's what I am. I'm nothing but that. And I'm going to say that's what I am. I'm not a he, she, they, what. I'm not a what or they. I'm a woman. So these groomers, handlers, and then let's get on to what's been going on lately with all of this death and cancers. Now, I wonder about that. I scroll through the news on Facebook because that's where they say all of these deaths. And a lot of them are celebrities, like maybe not major celebrities, but like D celebrities, or, they say the low-level celebrities, but they're having heart attacks. They're having cancers. What is all that about? It's like it's becoming accepted, like it's okay. It's not a big deal. Suddenly died. There was a documentary, suddenly died. What's with all this suddenly died? Like it's an acceptable thing. And these are not 90-year-old people. These are people that are from the age of teenagers, like athletes. So they're overexerting their heart. So all of a sudden they're suddenly dying. What happened in the last 2 years? There was a couple of rollouts, weren't there? There was a couple of pushes towards us. There was a couple of do this or we're going to get in your face or lose your job. We had the 5G and we had some other medical stuff. That we were demanded to do. You never have to do anything you don't want to. You don't have to give your permission. I say that. Hey, Bob Harding, sacrifices. We can have and we can imagine, and I'm sharing with you, this is true. This is true. This is universal law. Universal law. You do not have to give away your permission. It's universal law. It's the law of the universe. It wasn't taught in school, but it's a law. You can imagine an invisible line surrounding you 12 inches from your body, and no one is allowed to come into your space physically, emotionally, mentally, or spiritually without your permission. So I'm saying to you, I'm suggesting to you, do not give away your permission. Do not give away your consent. If you have an uh-oh feeling inside of you and you go, ooh, I don't think so. Now, if you're clear and you have your own thoughts and your own ideas, now if you are taking everything that everybody out in the matrix and all out in the systems and on the news, the mainstream media says, and you're like, oh, if I don't do that, that's living in fear. Fear is the worst cause of death because those out there, everyone fears death. They fear death. So it's taking them to their death by fear. We want to get away from fear. No more fear. We want to be fearless. You are a fearless being of light. So here we go. The divide, there's collapsing timelines. And what does that mean? Well, everything that I just shared with you, all of these events, and they've been events, and it's not just me saying this with my conspiracy theory. No, it's out there and it's written down. There's stories. It's real stuff that's been going on. And a few more events. There's been glitches in the matrix, celebrity glitches, where their eyes are like stuck this way. You've seen some of that. I know Katy Perry was saying, oh, that's just part of my little doll routine. And then there's been some face problems with some of these celebrities. There's been the death of the Queen. Lisa Marie Presley just passed away. What's the explanation for that? Anne Heche had that very strange death. She got up from the gurney And then they said, oh, she died. She was in a coma. She died. Her car she drove her car into something. I think she had a electric car or some kind of operated car. Her car drove into a building. And then Pope Benedict just passed away. He was the first pope, I believe, that resigned in 2013. He died December 31st, 2022. So there's been some very strange events in a very short period of time. Now, there's no news lately of the Clintons, the Bushes, the Obamas. Has there been human rights abuse and trafficking? Now, the CGI, the clones, the masks, the psyops, the elite cabal, the mass surveillance, the false prophets, and the false light. So, what does all these events show us? There's a lot of events. It's a lot. They show us truth. They allow us to reflect and figure this out. If we all put them together and we say that's a whole lot, starting with the Georgia Guidestones, where someone exploded one of the slabs, and it was there since 1980. So how many years is that? That's 42 years? 42 years? That's a long time. And they blew it up and said, no world order in what year was that? 1986. So truth, this is showing the defeat. Most of us will not look at the truths to come. And we can't. And you know why we can't? Because they're horrific. They might be too painful, weird, bizarre, evil. But what we're going to do is now we are going to quickly seed and plant a garden. We are going to quickly plant our own garden. Now, how are you going to plant a garden? Well, we can go through the steps of actually planting a garden, and it's kind of interesting. So when you plant a garden, what do? You choose the right location with plenty of sun. Now, I believe the sun is a gift. I believe that the sun is going to heal us and help us and repair us. And if you allow the sun to come into your life, which is light, if you allow light to come into your life, then you will have all the answers within you. What is to come is a new civilization. What is all of every single event that I mentioned? It's the breaking down of something old. It's the breaking down of something that was existing, that was very powerful and strong. The Queen was powerful and strong. She passed away. That last Pope passed away. We also are hearing about UFO sightings that are on mainstream media. Go figure. MSM is announcing last weekend about UFOs. They never dare do that. What's that all about? And the fact that we're not seeing any of these ex-political figures so much anymore. We're hearing about some kind of undercover and underground government, the white hats. And are they partaking in some of these events that are changing around us? For example, last week, there was a issue with the airlines, and they had canceled like 8,000 flights, and they never really gave an explanation why. What would that be all about? That's a sign right there. Is there some underground, undercover, covert white hats that are do-gooders? I also hear about some kind of light workers that are going across the globe preventing catastrophes. Now, these sound a little far-fetched, don't they? They sound almost like, oh, that's a movie, that's an action film. But we're also finding out that a lot of what we've seen in films and television is actually true. And they put it right up in our face, and then they think, oh, they're not going to realize that we're showing them the truth right in front of them. So planting a garden, you're going to find the right location, and you're going to have plenty of sun, and you're going to be close to a water source. And you're going to select your seeds. Maybe they're vegetables, maybe they're fruits, and you're going to prepare the soil. You're going to check planting dates. You're going to plant the seeds. Now, what are you planting? You're going to plant thoughts. Maybe you're going to actually plant a garden, or maybe you're going to create a garden for yourself, your own actual garden of life, of what you want. We have to really, really consider that this is a possibility. We have to understand that the world is changing right now. These are signs. These are a forewarning of what's to come. And what's to come is the breaking down of everything bad. When I say bad, I mean the dark forces. I mean those that are out there to hurt us and injure us and not care about us. Maybe we can tap into some spiritual help to overcome some of this stuff. Exactly. That's what we're doing. We are tapping in, and we're going to get into that. We're going to get into steps out of the simulation. And so we're going to add water. We're going to keep the weeds out, which is all the negativity, and we're going to give room to grow. And that's who we are. We are going to grow into a garden, all of us together, and we're bringing light onto us. So the most difficult experiences are behind us. Our thoughts are our hope, and our experiences, our reality. You are what you think. So self-limiting beliefs prevent you from reaching your greatest potential. So if you are someone who is doubting, if you're someone who's sabotaging yourself, can you change? Yes, you can. It's one thought. It's a reflection. It's looking at what you've been doing. Now, maybe if you, in your mind, conjure up your thoughts and you say, oh, well, this happened and this is why I do it. Maybe you're someone who's more visual. Maybe you need to write it down and look at it. And that's how you're going to change your future, because you're having self-limiting beliefs, because that's what we were actually accustomed to, is to limiting our beliefs. And we are going to spiritually, like Craig said, we are going into a new era. It's going to be 1,000 years of light. So everything that I spoke about up until now today, the forewarning of the events, what I sense is going to happen and what I believe is going to happen, the events that are going to happen next are, we are going to completely see the end of all of these structures. And not only is it going to be spoken about, we're going to see it in the physical reality. And we're going to see it, and maybe we're going to see it after it happens, and we're going to be the last to know, but is definitely going to show itself. And it's going to show itself. Maybe it's going to be through videos. Maybe it's going to be through some kind of, story in the news. And they're going to try to make nothing of it, but it is something. So everything that's happening, pay attention. There's going to be many signs before the ultimate end. Now, is the solar flash going to occur? I believe it is occurring right now. I believe that we are gaining momentum on that. We are gaining a lot of light onto the earth. And we are moving into a new era, 1,000 years of light. So here are some steps to leave the simulation. When I say the simulation, what do I mean exactly? Well, a simulation is basically it's not the truth. It's not a reality. It's something that is created to look like the truth. It's a hologram is a simulation, and this world that we've been living in, when we go out of our homes and let's say we go to the supermarket, we listen to the news or we read a newspaper, that is all created to benefit whoever is in wealth and in power. Now, how do you gain wealth and power? Because you started in wealth and power, or you created a situation that you had it first. And those out there that have the wealth and power created it first. Now, can we take it away, like pull the rug out from under them? I think it's happening slowly because everything is being disclosed and the truth, and the people aren't happy anymore. But you know what? Let's focus on how we're going to leave the simulation. So the relationship we've had with the matrix, the simulation, the belief system in the physical reality has consistently been draining and distressing. Because we've kind of been like, oh my gosh, I've got to do this job because if I don't, I won't pay my bills, or I better hurry, task. So we're born here on this new earth Gaia, and we're supposed to be having fun. We're supposed to have free will. We're supposed to be living in a society that we can convey our thoughts. Now, do you feel as though you can go around telling everyone you encounter on this planet, what you're thinking? Heck no. Why? Because they'll say, we don't like you, and you'll be criticized, and you will be, cast away. So it's draining and it's distressing because you feel like this. You feel like you have a piece of duct tape over your mouth and you can't say exactly what you're thinking. And we haven't been able to express ourselves. So we're going to be open to expressing ourselves now, aren't we? We're going to be open. We're going to open ourselves. So moments and chronic experience of competitiveness and disrespect and undermining has been taking over our lives since the beginning, since you were born. You felt like everything's competitive. Who's going to win the race? Who's going to get in the head of the line? Who's going to have the best picture? Who's going to have the best story? Who's going to get the best grades? Who's going to have the best job? Who decided what is the best? We're leaving that behind. It's going to be in our rear view mirror, isn't it? It's going to be behind us. We're not going to go with who cares? Who cares? We're letting that all go. It doesn't matter, does it? Because who made up that? Who made that up? So on the surface, everything might seem normal. We kind of experienced that. But behind the scenes, when you've pulled back the curtain, the veil, you realize that it's complicated and there's a lot of unhappiness, low self-esteem, depression, and anxiety. And we know that because we hear this person has to take this pill to feel better, or, there's all this medicine to get rid of ailments, to get rid of addictions, to get rid of some kind of pain that you're having. Now, stress can cause a lot of pain. Have you ever had a really stressful day and you kind of come out and you're like, oh my God, I have a headache? Why do you have that headache? Because it's so stressful in this simulation, in this matrix, in this, this world that we are all supposed to be following and fighting to get to the front and win, and task. It's exhausting. It's depressing. We have anxiety. We have mental health issues. Anyone who's joining us, I hope you like the video and subscribe to the channel. Boy, am I ranting today? Maybe I'm ranting. No, I'm not. I'm just trying to bring awareness. I'm trying to help you. It's all good stuff. So we're going to leave the matrix, the simulation. So others have discouraged you up until now from leaving their belief systems, the belief systems. And you kind of feel criticized about it, maybe hated on, you're kind of confused. Well, it's not that bad, is it? It's okay. I can keep going. You don't have to anymore. You don't have to keep going. You can let it go. Now, I know going back and forth, like, look, I dealt with the matrix all day. I'm in that whole reality with the computer, constantly dealing with all this 9-to-5 stuff, all of these customers, and it's stressful. It's all about time, selling, consumerism. And it's kind of exhausting. Okay. So the simulation is familiar to us. We must justify mentally staying because of some of the advantages. We say, well, it's not so bad. I have this great car and I have these clothes, and, I'm going on some of these vacations, or whatever it may be for you, whatever you find to be familiar and have advantages. But, to get out of the matrix, let's go through some of the steps. If you already haven't officially gotten out of the matrix. 1, build a support system. Break off from the energies, the thoughts, and the must-dos. Resist the temptation of continuing with the simulation. So that might be turn off some electronics at the end of the day. Give yourself a breather. Spend time in nature. Build a support system so that you can do it. It's like kind of getting out of a bad relationship. That's what we've been in, a bad relationship in the matrix, in the simulation, this illusion that we've been living in, because there's another reality out there. There's another possibility. We can create a new civilization together with our thoughts. Stay firm to leave. Your new identity is a thought away. So what exactly is that? Well, you're going to make a plan. At first, you might want to go back for comfort and need. So let's cut off old beliefs. Like I said, cut off that belief system. It's attached to your brain, attached to your heart. Cut it off and leave it on the side of the road. And what are those beliefs? Those beliefs are every single thought that you were taught that wasn't your own. That's a belief system. That's a whole lot of nothing right there. Where is that taking you? Is that helping you get to your destiny? Is that helping you find information about yourself? Are you learning how to be more positive, have opportunities, gain awareness, expand your consciousness? No. So we're going to leave that belief system on the side of the road. It's this big sack. It's full of garbage. We're going to cut it off and leave it there because it's emotionally manipulating you and it's worrying you, and it's making you worried that you're going to miss out if you're not involved with all of those beliefs. Leave them alone. Leave it alone. Now, don't watch any of the shows that are fear-based. There's a lot coming out right now because all of the networks and all of these monopolies of, I guess they're production companies, that own these shows, they all are producing very negative, demonic, there's all these stories about, I don't know, just really evil looking, scary beings. And, everything from witches to, I guess, just evil beings and criminal acts and all that. Just leave all that. Don't look at any of that stuff. That's hurting you because basically it's vibrationally upsetting your system. It's creating something within you that's toxic. So stay away from fear-based programming. Stop thinking about crises and don't watch the news. The news is very bad for us. The news is just stressing us out. We're like holding our breath. It's upsetting our nervous system. Know that you deserve better. When you decide to leave the matrix and you try to get out, know that you deserve better. Like I said, it's like a toxic relationship. It's a bad relationship we've had with this matrix. Know that you deserve better. Replace negative beliefs, limiting beliefs with self-worth and positive, affirming internal messages. We can control our thoughts. Like I say, what's your first thought of the day? If your thoughts were coming out on a piece of paper, what would they be? Would they be like, oh my gosh, I'm a great human being. I'm wonderful. And I have so much to offer the world. And I am compassionate and loving. Or is it like, oh, I hate this, that, and the other. And oh, I wish that it was tomorrow. Or, I don't like this person or that person. A lot of toxic, negative language. Whatever's your thoughts are, you are actually creating that outcome. You will create more bad stuff. So we want to create in our minds. We're going to take control of our thoughts. We're going to take control of our thoughts, and we're going to realize that we can be positive and we can affirm. Like we said, I am beginning to love myself. I am beginning to forgive myself. I am forgiving others. Start with I am. Maybe it's I am a worthy being. I am strong. You are a worthy being. You're a lovely being of light. You're highly advanced. You're a sacred being of light. If you're around somebody that's toxic or somebody that's hurting you, we should guard our senses a bit. All counts. Well, if you are, when you say guard your senses, we can put light around ourselves if we feel as though we're receiving something that's hurting our physical being, our mind, our heart, our spirit. We can imagine white light. If you go out somewhere and someone comes at you and you say, oh my gosh, I don't know why this person's attacking me, or they're just maybe a little bit too aggressive, put your hand across your arm, across your heart to protect your heart so you're not injured. These are all things that we probably should have learned from when we were children, but nobody told us. Now, number 6 is keep a journal of your progress. Write about your feelings, leaving the matrix, leaving the simulation. Write about it. There's a lot to be said about writing things down. Write about your feelings. 7, make a detailed plan how to deal with this transition. Consider new passions, dreams, and desires. You are going to create the new world with me. We are going to the light together. It's not an easy path. There's a lot of us that are just very much alone. Like, I'm in this community. I have a few friends, geographically local, but not so many. I'm kind of on my own. I'm going solo. Are you going solo, leaving the matrix? Are you going solo with these belief systems? Are you going solo, creating a new life, a new civilization? Maybe. Is that impossible? No. We are the first timeline arrivals. We are the very first wave of volunteers. We are here first because we are bringing in the masses to the new civilization. And it's going to happen like this. Let me share with you. When all of the light comes on the earth, when the rest of the solar flash happens, and everyone awakens, there's going to be those that say, I don't want to live without the matrix. What am I going to do without my cell phone? What am I going to do? And they're going to hide. They're going to bury themselves somewhere. And there's going to be those that don't want any part of a new civilization. And then there's going to be those that are with us. And we are all joining together. And we're going to have so much light with us. And we're going to have so much personal power. And it's going to be exciting and new. And we're almost done. Express how you feel. 9. And then surround yourself with positivity. Spend time feeling good. Take care of your feelings. That is very, very crucial. Take care of your feelings. When you're a child, you were told that's good and that's bad. And you hid all the bad sides of you. And you stuffed it down somewhere. And it was in the dark, wasn't it? You weren't allowed to express your feelings. You were told, shh, shh, stand over there, shh. Okay, be quiet. You weren't really allowed to tell you how you felt, maybe given a pill. Some kids that acted out were given pills, medication. I don't know if that's still happening now. Given medication to be quiet or behave. You know, who said it's okay to take a little child that wants to run around and play and put them in a room and they can't play? They have to sit at a desk for how many hours and look at a board or now it's looking at their computer. That seems unhealthy to me. So we are going to spend time feeling good. We are going to spend time accepting and taking care of our feelings and our physical being. We're going to eat healthy. We're going to have exercise, drink a lot of water, and take care of ourselves. And then we're going to stick it out, even if we feel as though we're missing out in the matrix. Focus on self-love. Those are my suggestions to leave the matrix. And I know that that's possible. And why is this such good news? Because guess what's happening? After all these events, after we've left the matrix, fortune awaits us, doesn't it? It's awaiting us. We are going to a place of fortune. And what is that? What is that exactly? It's a chance happening. Anyone who's joining us, I hope you like the video and subscribe to the channel. And we're going to get on to psychic phenomenon in a very few minutes, like maybe 2 minutes away. 2 minutes away, we're going to do some psychic phenomenon because we hit the 1 hour mark, didn't we? So fortune awaits. Fortune is awaiting you. It's about to happen. And how do I know that? Because I know when you come to terms with exactly who you are. Because everything that's happened to you until now, you've kind of been just, we've been like, we're standing on a boat. You ever stand on a boat and it's moving back and forth? You ever standing on a little boat and you're trying to get your footing? I grew up on boats. My father was a sailor. So I remember standing on a boat. I had a little boat. I took sailing class. And I remember getting used to balancing. So we're right now getting used to balancing ourselves. And we have been balancing ourselves. And we've been knocked down. We've been knocked down. But now that we are getting out of the matrix, out of the simulation, we are realizing that we can find our footing much easier. How can we? Because we're listening to our inner in our inner dialogue, our inner spirit, and what we know. We're following our intuition. That's what our psychic phenomenon is all about. We're listening to ourselves. We have the answers within us. Now, when we follow everything that's within us that we've been told not to follow, we've been told, follow that line of people. Conform to what everyone else is doing. Oh, they're wearing the greatest clothes, the greatest sneakers, they're having the greatest homes, whatever it is. Is that what we want? Maybe we've looked at it and decided we want it too. Or maybe we're just doing it to follow the masses. We don't want to do that anymore. We want to go on our own, and we're going to find our own fortune. Your fortune is awaiting you. So it's a chance happening. It's good luck. It's success. It's favorable results. Now, are you ready for you? Have you decided and committed to you? You're not going to follow the masses anymore. You're going to be yourself, your truest self. You have a DNA. You have a DNA blueprint within you. Just yours. It's just for you. That's why when I say to you, when it comes to your psychic phenomenon, whatever you're receiving, whatever information you're receiving from an outside source is meant for you. I'm not going to receive the same information, and you're going to receive the information differently than I would. It's the same thing. You have something, a fortune that's waiting for you. Now, are you ready for you? Our thoughts create the outcome. So whatever you're thinking, you will create. Whatever you're thinking about tonight, if it's related to something that you want in your future, if you say, oh, I have this wonderful dream that I'm going to go in a hot air balloon. And then you say, oh, I have this wonderful dream, I'm going to go in a hot air balloon. Oh, but I can't do that. I can't do that. That's never going to happen to me. Well, it's not going to happen for the next 2 weeks. You just sabotaged yourself because that's how strong and powerful you are. You not only thought about it, but you said it out loud. You have to reconstruct how you kind of handle yourself. Your thoughts, your words, and actions matter. You want to create the best outcome for you. Your fortune is awaiting you. Everything within you, you can create. It's possible. Okay, so you're going to hope for the best. You're going to hope for the best, be conscious of your thoughts, and become aware of your own influence over energy, matter, and consciousness. You have the ability to change energy and matter through your consciousness, through your thoughts. Every single thought you have carries energy, carries a vibration, carries emotions and feelings, and they are very valuable. So just think about it. Imagine if you say something really positive over and over again. You don't laugh at yourself. You don't sabotage yourself. You are going to manifest it. It is going to happen for you. You can basically predict events. You can speak about it and it can happen. So be accurate about exactly what you want. Now, here's the key. What fortune you desire. Here we go. Now, if this fortune's awaiting you, let's speak about what you desire. Why are you hoping for this fortune? What is it exactly you want? Is it some fancy piece of jewelry? Is it a location you want to go to? Is it something you would like to change within yourself? Are you interested in a relationship? Why are you hoping for this fortune? Ask yourself these questions. It's very valuable to have the answers. Why are you hoping for this fortune? 2, what exactly does this fortune look like to you? This fortune that's awaiting you, what does it look like? Can you close your eyes and can you consider what exactly you envision for yourself, your fortune? Is it piles of money? I don't know. Is money going to be valuable forever? I'm not sure. The meaning behind what you desire. What is the meaning behind it? It's like we can ideally claim we want something, but then when we get down to it, do we really want it? Be aware of all of this. Be clear on exactly the specific day, time, moment you see this fortune making its way into your life. Okay? So be clear exactly the specific day, time, moment you see this fortune making your way into your life. And you know what's going on here when I'm saying all of these statements? You're creating it because I'm giving it more context. I'm making it more real for you. It's very valuable, this. Pay attention. This is very valuable right now. Okay? And how would this fortune change you and your life? Reflect about the reality. How would this fortune change you and your life? Okay. Almost done. Do you really want this now? Do you really want this fortune that you've been considering? You really have to want something. Is it easier to imagine than actually possessing it? So if you get this fortune, are you going to be happier? Are you going to have personal happiness? Maybe the answer is yes to everything. Maybe you're going to create this. You have more information now to create this fortune for yourself because a fortune is awaiting you. It's awaiting you. It's there for the taking. You can manifest the fortune. So be proactive. Know you are lucky. Say you are lucky. You are lucky. Be resilient, be optimistic, and listen to your intuition. Now, more than anything, before we get on to psychic phenomenon, because we've kind of passed that mark, because we had a lot to cover today, because there was these forewarning events that kind of are showing us what's going to happen, which is this new civilization is coming into play. You want to trust yourself. You want to break free from stress, self-doubt, find your inner confidence, and listen to your inner guide. We all have an inner guide within us. It's when we don't listen to the inner guide, we get into trouble. Like I say, you can't follow someone else. They have a different destiny than you do. You want to follow your inner guide, your heart, your spirit. You've known since you were born. Here you are, and it's time now. We can't wait any longer. We have to do this now. We have to grow the garden. We have to leave the matrix. Are you with me? Are you leaving the matrix? Do you want to build a new civilization? Do you want to get your fortune? Do you want to have personal happiness? All right, so let's get into psychic phenomenon. We love this psychic phenomenon. Oh, I have to mention angels. Did I mention angels today? Angels are beings of light. They come from the heavens to earth. They're here to protect humanity. They're benevolent. They love humanity. They're here for the masses. And they are ascending and descending from a staircase from heaven. You might receive some divine messages. Maybe they drop down into your brain. You might encounter some mystical experiences because of angels. Are you having visions? Have you had any angels visit you in your dreams while you're sleeping? They're here to protect you and guide you. They're warriors. They say there's tens of thousands upon millions of angels that are with us here in this physical reality, except we just don't see them right now. I believe at some point we're going to see all of them. We're going to see angelic beings. We're going to see extraterrestrials. And those extraterrestrials are making their way to us, aren't they? There's all these sightings right now. There's a lot of sightings. We've been hearing about extraterrestrials and UFOs since we were kids. We all said, oh, that's sci-fi. But now, don't you know that they're announcing it on the mainstream media that there are UFOs? There's UFOs, and there have been. Hello? All right, so light on the horizon. You know what I'm going to say? Light on the horizon. Good things are coming beyond your view. A difficult situation will improve. Now, I'm not going to say any of everything what I'm doing is easy. I'm having a tough time. I'm dealing with it. Sometimes I let out a little cry here and there because I'm just struggling, just trying to get through everything. and there never seems to be enough linear time to get it done. But I believe, like I say, light on the horizon, good things are coming beyond our view. A difficult situation will improve. So get out there in the morning, maybe see a sunrise, a sunset at evening, spend time in nature, hug a tree, turn off your electronics, have some stillness, which is what we're going to do right now, aren't we? Now we have activated our intuition. We have a knowing about information, and we haven't been given any. We just know it. We have that within us. The more you open up your senses and you practice moving these muscles within you, your clair senses, the more ability you will have predicting events, having premonitions, having visions, channeling, maybe becoming a medium, maybe a clairvoyant. You are capable of mastering at least one clair sense. You are. Possibly 3 if you practice enough. Now, I believe wholeheartedly that at some point when we all join in the light, we're going to meet each other. We are all going to be activating our telepathy, speaking mind to mind. We won't have to be using our mouths. I mentioned light language last night. That was one of the topics, and I spoke about this light language, and it comes through. It's not through our normal speaking. It's through sounds. It can be visual. It can be written. And I think that's part of what's coming forward is light language. All right, so there will be flashes of information that you will receive. And again, 1,000,000%, if I could give you a tip to be intuitive, for this to work for you, I would say, accept it. Say, I can do this. Have no doubt. And the faster you say that, the faster that you really believe that, then the more information will come through to you. Because otherwise you're blocking it. Otherwise you're saying no, thank you. And I did that for a long time. I blocked it. But I'm suggesting you don't. Now we're not going to have conscious reasoning. So we're going to relax. We're letting go of a breath. We're letting out a breath. And we are going to do an exercise like we've been doing. Okay, so we're going to close our eyes. We're going to be like a rag doll. We're going to let out any tension within our body. Okay? And we are going to push away any thoughts. This is not about conscious reasoning or critical thinking. And we are going to maybe breathe in, breathe out. Take a deep breath in, breathe out. One more time. Breathe in, breathe out. Because we really want to just let go of any of this tension that we have. And we want to trust that we can do it. We're going to drop down into our clair senses. We're going to make physical contact. And we're going to just do a little check. Are you hearing? Maybe your third eye's activated, your sense of smell, taste. We're surrendering to our clair senses, aren't we? We're surrendering. We're going, just give me the information. I will take it. I'm paying attention because we want to receive impressions. Your heart, tune into your heart, and your knowing, your claircognizance, and maybe your sense of touch. So choose one of these. Maybe you choose 2. Now you can be handed information. Your impressions might come through, past, present, or future. And how you receive it is entirely personal. Whatever happens for me is not how it's going to happen for you. But whatever is happening for you, the best thing I can say is accept it and know that that's personal. There's not going to be any proof or evidence. All right, so we relaxed. We've dropped down. We've surrendered. We've let out a breath. We've made physical contact. We are focused and we are concentrating. And I'm making a suggestion right now. The suggestion that I'm making for you is I'd like you I'd like you to go to the moment that you receive your fortune, the fortune that's awaiting you. So I'd like you to either tune into one of your clear senses or two of your clear senses. And my suggestion is you've dropped down the moment that you've received your fortune. What impressions are you receiving about that moment? Okay, I don't know if you receive. Sometimes when I do that, I close my eyes. I don't know how long that I'm focused, and I don't want to kind of, lose you. So I just got received the information, and so what for me, my fortune, and this has kind of been a consistent. How do I say it? A consistent way that in the past I've received a fortune. And the fortune is an opportunity. And so for me, I actually saw it at first. This was kind of weird. I heard a car crash in front of me, like at a intersection, an intersection that crosses over. So I heard it, a car crash, and then I saw a car crash, and then I was handed something to say, and then I was then received my fortune. So that's what happened for me. And for me, it's about receiving opportunity. And that's going to be when my fortune happens for me. So I have to kind of go into that a little bit deeper at another moment. I don't know what happened for you when you saw your fortune. If you did, in fact, maybe you want to share it with us, maybe not. It's very personal. I know some of what we do here is personal, and you don't necessarily have to receive it. It's a beautiful seaworthy boat. I love that. That's wonderful, Bob Harding. I grew up on boats. I love all kinds of boats. Well, that's great. Thank you for sharing that, Bob Harding. Okay, so we are going to be done now because we're at an hour and a half, and that's plenty long enough. And I'm just suggesting that you work out your clear senses on your own. Like I say, tomorrow. I'm going to say tomorrow. I'm suggesting that you tune into someone that you don't know, a stranger, and see what kind of information that you receive from that person. And you can't have doubt when you do this. Hey, Alexandra, thank you, Alexandra. I'm suggesting that tomorrow you tune into a stranger, wherever you might be. If you're out in the public, if you're waiting online to get a cup of coffee, if you are at your job, if you are wherever you are tomorrow, I'm suggesting that you try to tune into someone. Now, how are you going to tune into them? Maybe you're going to tune into their heart. It's not with your thinking, though. Remember that. It's not about what you see with them physically. You're going to tune into them through your senses. So you're going to guide yourself to tune into them. Whatever feels natural to you is how it's going to be for you. So maybe you're going to tune in and you're going to say, oh, I'm tuning in. Maybe you're looking away and it's going to be vibrational. Maybe you're going to receive energy. Maybe you're going to get a headache and say, oh, I don't want to tune into that person again. Whatever it may be, see what impressions you receive. It's entirely personal. And just practice that way. Maybe every day try practicing that a little bit. Become more accustomed to doing this. Because eventually what's going to happen is we are going to be tuning into other people, and we're going to be transferring information mind to mind. That's how it's going to happen. Okay, everyone, I'm sending you good, happy thoughts, and I'm spinning light, and you're in the center of it, and you're making a wish. And they're clockwise and counterclockwise. And I'll be back again tomorrow. I'm putting light around you. I'm spinning light. I want good things for you. You're a worthy being of light. And remember that. Remind yourself of your 3 characteristics that make you authentic. Do you have the most beautiful brown eyes? Are you an amazing writer? Are you a great friend? Whatever it is, you have 3 amazing characteristics. Own them. Okay? So I'll be back again tomorrow, and then that's it. It's tomorrow night. I do it 4 nights a week. And I'll try for 7 o'clock. I know it came on a little bit later. Everyone have a wonderful evening. Be well. Positive thoughts. I am. Start with I am. Have a good intention. Bye. Elsa says bye too. You guys are awesome. Thanks for joining us. Hope you liked the video and subscribe to the channel. Bye.